Hey, Rhoda, niaje? Welcome to the Prudentials. Shali Kimani niaje? Milio Gum. Hey, how are you? Welcome to the Prudentials. I have Rose here. Hey, Betty Achapa. Umepotea sana we, Betty. Niaje? Long time no see. Yeah, we need to hook up soon. Batteries deal with. Hey, Rose, how are you?
Good, good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Mzuri sana.
How are you doing?
Fema, good.
Yeah, can you hear me good?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. That's good. Doreen, Sally, karibu sana to the Prudential Show. Guys, tonight I have Rose Oginga. She's joining me from Florida State. She's a founder of IHOPE, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. IHOPE.
That's right.
Yes. She will tell us about the project she's doing. She's doing an amazing job back home. She's an advocate for the education. She empowers women, youth, and name it. So, Rose, without wasting much time, I know we're behind. We're supposed to have 8:30. So, if you can introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do for a living.
Very good. Thank you so much for giving me a chance here. The great Prudential of USA. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you.
It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. My name has been mentioned, Rose Oginga. I am in Florida, and I do what is known as IHOPE. When he introduced me, he said IHOPE is International Health Operation, Patient Education, and Empowerment. I always say it's employment, but it's empowerment, equipping personnel, different people to do what they do best, increasing their potential, because each and every individual has a potential that only needs to be tapped. And when it's tapped, I'm telling you that person can go so far. So basically, that's who I am. I'm in Florida right now. I'm a nurse by profession, and I've been a teacher for over 15 years, taught various levels of the school levels, and I'm a guidance and counselor as well. I'm a motivational speaker, but very shy sometimes. So yes, I am all that.
Oh, that's good. You wear so many hats, and I'm so proud of you. But just if you're joining, so it's International Health Operation, Education and Empowerment. That's the meaning of the acronym, IHOPE. Let's talk about the background. And when did you start this organization? If you can tell us how many years ago?
That's a very good question. We started in 2014 as a few friends, and we were working with the communities back home, whereby we started off by just giving uniforms to the students, those who were really in need. And we tried to work with the PTA and the parents and the people who were concerned. So basically, we involved everybody. We involved the parents, we involved the head teacher, the teachers, basically the PTA as a whole. They were even able to contribute towards buying students' uniform. So we were chipping in and working as individual and as a team. So it started off small, and we were able to meet their needs then. But the needs became more. So in 2017, we registered this organization under the name IHOPE, or IHOPEE, as some people prefer calling it. Yes.
Okay. If you can tell us if you have any motto or any vision or any mission statement for this organization.
Thank you. Very good. Our mission statement is, I have it online. It is enabling individuals reach their potential in the United States and Kenya among the youth and the women. We are actually encompasses the youth and the women, because women nurture the young people. A woman, for example, in a home If everything goes on well, that home will succeed. I'm not saying men are bad. I was raised by a very wonderful man, my dad, who allowed me to go to school during the times when women were not allowed to go to school. They're like, what for? They'll get married and leave your home. But he gave me that chance. So our mission is women and youth empowerment.
Okay, that's good. So I like your rationale there. So if a woman is empowered, they will be able to cater for the youth, and that's very good. You seem to be very passionate, Rose, about the education. If you can give us a little bit about your background, why are you so passionate about it?
Thank you for that question. Education is very important. Education is key to everything, I must confess. When you have an education, you can handle so many things. This is because you have the cognitive, you have the understanding of what you're doing. And it doesn't matter what level you are. It can be just up to standard 8, for example, in Kenya, or 8th grade in the US here. But the person who has not stepped in the classroom will not be able to coordinate as well as that person who have moved step 1, step 2, and step 3. So education is my passionate because I was a teacher for 15 years, and I realized that every child has a potential, but the situation matters, the environment matters, the capability or whatever resources they have determines where they go. I taught in the we call them weak school, but not necessarily weak. I taught in schools that did not have enough, and schools that had all that they could use. There was a big difference. Students didn't perform well because they lacked the resources, whereas where the students had all the resources, the performance was very high. So this showed me, or this grew up in me, that every child, given the right opportunity, will perform well. So we should not ignore them. And that's why I'm trying very much to focus on the rural areas. Because in the rural areas, as many teachers who are maybe watching right now will realize, you find that a book is shared among 10 kids. Honestly, can you compare with that student who has her own book to study from? It's not the same. And this makes it very hard for this kid to compete in the normal standards of education. That's why I'm so passionate with this. I would wish that I would be able to equip a library in all the rural schools, if not all the community, so that we are having some literacy. Literacy actually elevates poverty.
Okay, that's good. And you have the co-founders. I'm going to give you this chance to kind of mention some of them who you work with or who share the same vision as you.
Very good. Thank you. There's a saying, if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go farther or with many more people or reach more people, then you need partners. I have very potential and very great partners. First of all, Florence Ojowa is one of us. Okay. A very active and former educator as well, who understands every need of a child. And she also has a child with a disability. So she realizes that the two have to balance. There is something that needs to be done to help this child in that particular level. I do have another lady also known as Irene. She is also here in the US. I also have Vivian, who is also one of us. We are a total of 5. One of us is still studying in South Africa. She's also known as a Tieno. Very, very powerful in terms of education as well, at a higher level. So we have all categories of educational levels. So it is not just necessarily the elementary or middle school or high school. We encompasses the whole career, the whole educational system, because we believe that, Mr. George, you are here in the US because you went to this particular school. You are here because you're going to college, to the university. There's a young man who just needs to be told that this is the way to process your paperwork to get into this particular university. So we are encompassing the career system. How well can you prosper through education?
Okay, I don't know how this program works, but how many kids are you guys helping in this IHOPE program? Do you have a head count for these kids, or how does it work?
Absolutely. At the moment, we started off with one particular school in the rural village, Kisumu County. It's known as Maraba. And we have also added another school called Cherwa. It's all of them are in Kisumu at the moment. They have 450 kids in each school. And we are working with the head teacher and the PTAs. Their classrooms are in very worse conditions, but we have asked them to work on at least one class that will enable these students get a place to study or to read from. So what we are trying to impact is the idea of reading, a culture of reading. And I want to confess to you, the first bunch of books that were taken with one of a well-wisher who was going home and said, Rose, I know taking these books can be a hell. I only have one luggage. I want to carry your luggage to your school. So they were able to take 2 luggage to those schools. And if you look at what has happened within only 6 months, the change of idea, the change of thinking, how much they are eager when they are sitting out around the table to read their books, you'll be amazed.
Okay, and how do you determine the needs? Because there's so many schools back home, so many needy kids. How do you pick and choose some of these schools? Do you have somebody working in Kenya on your behalf to kind of tell you the areas of need? How do you work about that?
Absolutely. You cannot coordinate remotely. You got to have somebody to let you know exactly what's going on. So we have a team in Kenya who are part of IHOPE. We call them ambassadors of IHOPE. So they're able to go down there and identify the real needs. As I had said earlier on at one of my videos, that sometimes, as much as we are encouraging library reading or reading of books, there are certain needs that some schools do want or are in need of. Where we can, we support. For example, I want to give an example that is very close to my heart. At one point, they just needed a teacher's table. Just that, because it wasn't there. So that's what we offered. Hence, we are looking and trying to work with the environment, with the people's need us at that moment.
Okay, good. Let's talk about the book program. I know you've been having a campaign about the books. If you want to talk about the books you're sending back home, and what kind of books are you sending there?
We have been updated on the curriculum change, and that's very key. And that's the reason why I was saying that we are actually working with the personnel at the back in Kenya, for example. So now that the curriculum changed, we are bound to send science and leisure reading books, because those don't change. We do not want to confuse the children. Otherwise, our goal will not have been met. So we are following keenly with the curriculum so that we actually blend and make it work with the system. So that's exactly what we are looking into, or what we are doing. We were very fortunate this time round, as you had mentioned, that we have a funds drive, or we have a campaign to encourage guys to help us send these books. We were very fortunate to have over 5,000 boxes of books to send home. However, we have only managed to send 28 books, boxes of books, from well-wishers who have been donating $10 to our website. It's secure. You only pay $10. Some people have been very gracious enough, have sent like 10 boxes by paying $50. I mean, $100, for instance. So it depends on what you want to offer. We welcome any amount. However, we are only asking for as little as $10. This helps us to send the books to the schools. If we were able to send all these books, we have identified 12 schools all over Kenya as of now. And we have some going to Northeastern, some going to Coastal, some going to Kakamega, South Nyanza, Central, and there's some going to Turkana as well. So I have the list with me. As soon as I am able to drop or to take those books or ship those books, definitely they will go there. We've also been a few of the shipping company friends are willing to take 1 box here, 2 boxes here. So there's a lot of support in terms of shipping these books. Thanks for the question.
How are you doing to make sure there's no discrepancy? I know, you know, the stuff that they do here in you as the books here, they're not the same as the one they read back home. According to your own research, are those books helping, or how does that work? If a book is sent from United States, how is it being used in Kenya?
That's a very good question. And that's why initially when you asked me, what kind of books do you send? I said very well that we are coordinating with the personnel back at home and following the Kenyan curriculum, for example. And we do realize there's a lot of changes. However, reading books remain the same. English book is an English book. A science book is a science book. The knowledge is similar. So what we do not want to do is to bring the social studies, which has changed really. And of course, we don't have Swahili books. We encourage people who want to do that to go to our website again. We have the titles of books that have been recommended by Kenyan KIE. You can buy those books and identify the school you want to. You don't necessarily have to stick with the books that we have. Go ahead, instructors that Rose, I have this school in Kadonzweni. I need the science books, 100 of them for my class 8. We will definitely do that for you. Order them, let us know which school you want them taken to, and we shall deliver that. Because we want to enhance the rural school. That's my main goal. We want to make sure that we are equipping libraries, however small it is, the culture of reading to alleviate poverty. That's our main goal. I think I'm very clear on that.
That's good, yeah. And do you have any library in place, and where is it, if you have one?
Yes, we do have one. We have one, it's called as Ruma Center. Ruma Center in Bondo. That has been set, it was started off after one of the girls who died, a very brilliant girl. So it was started off to remind people that this girl died for a cause. She loved school so much. So there's a library center that has been set up. We are also taking books right there.
Okay, the other thing I was going to ask you is about the education reform back home, because you have had, you know, recently underprivileged kids don't go to school. If your family doesn't have money, you're probably not going to go to high school, because the high school costs have been very expensive. Do you think we need a reform for the education in Kenya, and especially where everybody can be able to afford to go to school? Because if your family doesn't have money, too bad, you cannot join high school.
It's a good question, but very political.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into the politics part of it, because that won't help the cause. We are here for solutions. I personally was raised in Kibera, so definitely I know what that struggle is. And I was helped by well-wishers. So I do believe that you and me are the well-wishers for this particular school, for this particular kid in that rural village. Not everybody will have the kind of heart you have or I have. And not everybody is in the business of giving. And we appreciate that, because it has to come from the heart. So the school system has not really helped much, especially where students are not able to afford to move from step one to the other. Does that mean they stop? Not at all. And the organization that we are working on are also looking into areas of working with the artisans, so that if you dropped at class 8, there's something that you can be helped to do. If you move on to the next one, whereby there's college fees, which we have not been able to do because we do not have enough funds. As soon as we get enough funds, definitely we shall sponsor kids that are really in need. Because they're very bright children who are orphans, for instance, who only need to be assisted to go to the next level. So we are in that process as of now.
Okay. Are you doing anything else other than education to women and young girls to empower them? Anything else you're doing other than, you know, selling books, education? You can talk about stuff like the beauty or anything else you're doing in the IHOPE organization.
Thank you so much. I hope we do a few things with the girls and the women as well. We call it beauty. A woman is beautiful in her own way.
Yeah.
But you do find, and one of our friends who is working with the FGM, you know, those are issues that are affecting the ladies. And one of our board member yesterday, unfortunately, the video didn't come out right, gave a very sad story whereby the young girls are, and it's late, I can now even say the words, offer themselves for sex to get parts in this era with the AIDS, that is HIV/AIDS that is on. Because this girl is so desperate. And there's this guy who just wants to use her to buy parts. It was such a sad story that touched my heart. So we do have the hygiene products in progress, where we offer schools with pads, and we are trying to organize with one of the organizations that helps them to make them for themselves, because we want to create independency, not dependency, whereby they can be able also to sell to others and make for themselves as well. So we're in that process. We haven't concluded it yet. As soon as that is done, I think it will help more schools, especially in the village. With the women, we do a lot of good things. We do have 2 women groups that are set up under their CBOs, because we realize that working with the groups that already know what they are doing is much easier than starting a whole new setup and trying to impart or force them to do what they are not ready for. So what am I saying here? These 2 groups are doing what we call table banking. So what we did with them is gave some money, and they borrow that money and do their own business with, and refund with some profit for the group. So it is helping them to do their business and add products for what they are doing. And also they do work with the SHIP. Back in the areas we are working with, SHIP does better and it's easier to manage. So this, they work among themselves. As they do that, they sell the SHIP to send their kids to school. We also work on agribusiness, whereby they plant vegetables, fruits, and they sell. So in other words, they're getting the food, they're getting the money, and also they are busy. They have something that is engaging them on a daily basis. So that's a project that we are working on. It's working pretty good with the groups that we have chosen, the 2 groups that we started off with, and we are getting very good reports from them.
That's good. Yeah, and also I think about 2 weeks ago, I saw you posted something on Facebook. You guys are selling some clothes, and the money is going towards, you know, helping these young women, you know, and youth. If you can tell us about that, where to order these clothes, and, you know, anything of that nature, if you can expand on that.
Okay. I didn't get the last part clearly. Do you mind repeating?
Were you selling? I saw posted on Facebook. Were you selling some clothes on your website? You know, and the money was going towards helping these children and women.
Right. What I was trying to explain to a few of us who have been asking, how do you guys raise funds to do all this? Among us, we do sell the clothes from Kenya. They're known as deras.
Yeah.
And we also sell the atiks, the Maasai stuff that we get from, or the jewelry that we get from Kenya. And when we bring them here, we sell them out. And then after we have done that, especially mostly of what we have been selling are from these women. We have the tailoring group. So when they finish up their clothes or their dresses for that matter, and they send them over here, we are able to sell out for them and give them back the money. So in other words, we are promoting them. I think they refer to it as fair trade. So this helps them to encourage, to give them marketplace. So that's how we do it. We sell our products for the women, for instance, who are working on this, and they get their money back. Go ahead.
Yeah, where do we order them? What the website? Do you have the website or?
We have yes, we have a mall on our website.
You can post it here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me type it out. Sorry about that.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah, if you can do that, you know, she's typing up the website where to order these clothes from home. Yeah, and I think you guys have something coming up. There's a medical mission in October, November.
Yes.
If you can tell us how we can be able to help with that. I myself, I'm in the healthcare field. If there's anything, you know, you want us to do, this is your chance to tell us how we can get involved in for this medical mission.
Very good. That's a good question. Sorry. 1 second.
Sorry.
There you go. I was just typing that. We do have a medical mission that is coming up. This is in November. We have a set date already. It's going to be November the 7th to November the 18th. All right. So why health? Somebody would ask, why are you doing health? What's going on with you? We do health because we are working with a human being. And this human being can only do well if they're healthy. And unfortunate enough, as I had said earlier, having been a teacher and now I'm a nurse, I do get the need on both sides. A healthy mother will function much better. And an educated mother will know what to do when the child is sick or when they themselves are sick. So the medical mission are going to target the malaria, the typhoid that is so common back home. And we are trying to reach the community once again that are not able to get the better resources that other urban area gets. So that's what we are planning to do.
Okay. Is your team going to go back home? Is that what you're trying to do?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have a team formed already? The volunteers and every.
Currently, we are encouraging volunteers to come on the website. On the left-hand side, you will find an invite for you to register if you want to go to Kenya during November to volunteer. So we do
let us know, and if you can give us more information on the website under the comments, I think that will be very helpful. Because I know there's a group called Howie, and I know most of the people there that might be willing to help you in one way or another. So let's move on. If you can tell us, Rose, has it been easy to run these kind of NGO, these not-for-profit organization? How has it been?
Very good question. It is a challenge because it's something that people think they know, and they do realize they do not know. Why am I saying this? We often want to do things for the community that they are not ready for. We ought to work with them for what they are in need of. That's what I did realize that is very key. So the challenge comes about in terms of organizing funds, in terms of getting to know exactly what the community needs. They might need a variety of stuff that actually you cannot afford. So it is only wise to say that with the, as we get these challenges, we've been able to discuss them with the committee and with the board members to make it work for us. The challenges are also seen in terms of coordinating from here to Kenya, in that our understanding of how US works, it's not necessarily how Kenyan works. So it's a real challenge, but we are making it work because we are trying to educate our community that this is how it works best. If you requested on this, we can do it in this way. Is that okay with you? Then you realize after educating our community on how best this can be materialized, it becomes easier because now you're in the right talking term. So what I'm trying to say here is the coordination is a little bit of a challenge, but if you do have a strong team at the back or rather back home, it becomes very, very easier.
Okay, I'm not sure whether you told us how we can be able to get involved. If you have to contribute money, is it PayPal, is it Cash App, or how do we get involved?
Very good. That's a good one. Good question. We do have the PayPal on our website. It's secured. I do not encourage the Cash App, but some people prefer that. We work with that as well. I encourage us all, if you can, please go to www.IHOPEE.org and donate. There's a PayPal. It's secure. Whatever God has given you, we do really appreciate. It goes a long way onto the projects that we are anticipating to do.
Wow. So it's www.IHOPEE.org. Is that true? Is it
correct?
org? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. That's good. And you can give us the phone number if somebody need to call you too, if you don't mind, for the IHOPEE.
No problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The phone number to call is 813. I'll type it down there. 813-597-3223. 813-597-3223. When you go to the website, it is on top there as well. So it's easier to communicate. You can communicate through the email info@ihope.org, or you can definitely make a phone call. We would really appreciate that.
Okay, and I think we have covered most of the stuff we wanted to cover. We've talked about your book program, education, the beauty, the health. One more thing that I was going to ask you is the cleaning water. You're trying to eradicate, the poverty, and you're trying to push for good living conditions. Mm-hmm. And I saw on your website there's something you're showing about the clean drinking water. Can you talk about that?
Okay. Once again, that's a good point that you're bringing forward. When we visited the villages that we are working with, we also realized that there's difficulty in getting the water resources. People go to the river to get the water to drink. That same running water is the one that they're showering on. That same water is the one that the cows, the animals are drinking. So it's unhealthy. We are trying to educate us and the community that there's a better way, like working with the catchment or harvesting of water. And we are looking into, it's not a project that we have already started on, but we hope to. And if there are well-wishers who can advise on how best and cheaply we can work or get water, that would be amazing. So we are working with the schools and trying to encourage them to do water harvesting. It's much cheaper than the wells.
Wow. I think this IHOPEE is very, very inspiring. Good job you guys are doing there, empowering youth, you know, young girls and women. And God bless you for all you do. For now, we're going to close this broadcast. Let us know about the medical mission. Some of us are medics and we might be willing to help you guys. And if you can also type your website there, the phone number, or anything else, you know, just feel free to do that. So this is a great project you guys are being involved in. And for now, have a good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, George. This is awesome. We are so proud to be part of Prudential Show. Thank you.
All righty. And I hope I'm going to see you. Are you coming on May here? Or?
Hopefully, yes.
Okay. All righty. Looking forward to see you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Good.
Have a good night.
Bye. Thanks.